Safe from the storm. Tonight at 6 on WDEF-News 12. You are watching News 12, WDEF-TV, Chattanooga. This is News 12 at 5.
1 month ago today, the sky opened up and Mother Nature showed just how strong she could be.
It was that night and early morning when some East Brainerd families awoke to find a tornado ripping their homes and their lives apart.
Good afternoon. Welcome to a special edition of News 12. I'm Jennifer Barron.
And I'm Glenn Halbrooks. During the next 90 minutes, we're going to be looking back at one of the most devastating nights in Hamilton County history.
It was exactly 1 month ago today that a tornado ripped through portions of the East Brainerd area. Today we have live storm team coverage.
I'm Heidi Robinson.
And I'm Bill Mitchell.
And during the next 90 minutes, we're going to be talking with some of the victims of the storm about what happened that night. We're here live in Hamilton Mill Subdivision, one of the places hardest hit by that storm.
We'll also be talking to some of the city officials and some folks around here who are trying to rebuild this community.
That's all coming up during the next 90 minutes.
And I'm Linda Edwards along with Jonathan Panker here. We are here at the Samaritan Center in Ooltewah. This is a place where they're trying to help people affected by the tornado, people whose homes were damaged and people in need of supplies.
Right now we are standing among some of the supplies that have come in. More than 50 families have come out here trying to piece their lives back together. The biggest thing they need now is cash. We're asking you to stop by the Samaritan Center off the Ooltewah exit on I-75 and please write us a check. We'll talk more with the folks here who are helping the victims coming up throughout the next 90 minutes. But right now, back to Jennifer and Glenn.
Thanks, Linda and Jonathan. You know, the tornado ripped through the area just after 1 o'clock early that Saturday morning.
And you still look around and see with all the damage that's behind us and around us, it is just amazing, a miracle that no one was killed. There was very little warning of these storms, but plenty of damage. Here's a look at some of the stories of the storm. Tornado. These are our first pictures of the lightning left in the tornado's wake, taken just moments after touchdown in East Brainerd.
And then the next thing we knew, stuff started to go flying by. And then, then it started to get heavier stuff. First it started out as the wind, then it looked like hubcaps, debris. By that time my friend said, man, we need to get in your bathtub. So we went and got in the bathtub, and next thing we knew, it felt like the whole building was picking up around us.
Some families say they had only seconds to react.
We just heard the sound and put my two grandbabies and my daughter-in-law and my wife in the bathtub, and my son and I draped over them, and it was just jerking at us, trying to pull us, and we were hanging on, and there was nothing left of the house. When the wind finally quit blowing, we just looked up and it was just pouring down rain on top of us.
All drivers, this direction is impassable. You need to turn your vehicles around and head back the other direction.
The devastation is akin to what you've seen on the news clips of the Midwest when tornadoes race through. Everything tossed helter-skelter, poles down, trees snapped, insulation. I saw a high school annual that had been torn to shreds.
I live in 618. I did live in 618, and I don't now.
Marty says her instinct to protect her 11-year-old boy took over.
I know the places where you're supposed to go, but it's kind of hard when you're scared. So we ran across the hall to the neighbors, and they was in the same situation we was in.
We thought that the tornado was going to come back and suck us up.
This is what it looks like from above. Twisted trees, downed power lines, and homes torn apart.
I was home in bed and I woke up. I heard the hail hitting the windows, and then all of a sudden I hear something like a locomotive hitting the apartment.
The metal frame and wheels you see atop this home used to be the foundation of a 30 by 10 foot construction trailer, which sat more than 50 feet away from the Dees family home until last night.
And I went and opened the front door to hear, what could that sound be? And then I heard it, and it dawned on me what I've heard on TV. Other people describe a tornado as being like a freight train, and it was so loud. From the time we heard it until it hit, we had 60 to 90 seconds tops. It's just absolutely a miracle God had his hand on us.
Down power lines hampered efforts to get the horses out of this collapsed barn. Using only flashlights, a chainsaw, and elbow grease, volunteers helped free this horse, which had been trapped for the better part of an hour. The man in this trailer got out without a scratch. He said he just didn't have time to run.
I heard this roaring like a train. I knew I couldn't get out, so I just rolled with it. Waited till it ended.
A lot of folks have similar accounts of what happened that night, and I know for many folks in this area, probably the very scariest night of their life till now.
Absolutely, and everybody has stories that they're going to take with them for the rest of their lives about that night, March 29th. We're going to show you a little bit of the damage here at Hickory Trace Townhomes. That's where we are, just off Hickory Valley Road. But most of the damage in many houses are back off this way about a mile or two. At the Hamilton Mill subdivision, they received very extensive damage as well. Some were even destroyed. Heidi Robinson and Bill Mitchell pick up from there.
All right, thank you, Glenn. The thing that's so unusual here in Hamilton Mill is that as you drive in, many of the houses are still in the same beautiful, pristine condition.
Got one, went over the next one, got another one, then went over the next one.
The house that we're standing here right next to us will be demolished on Thursday, just day after tomorrow. And what happened was when the tornado came in, what it did, the way it damaged and hurt this house, it actually lifted the roof up off the corner here and then put it back down. The builder, the person who built this house and now sadly enough has to also take it down, said that the far left-hand side of this home was actually pushed 4 inches off of its foundation, just actually moved. The way that the storm came through the house, it came through and actually blew the door, the garage door, which is laying right here, it actually blew it out.
Actually, if you look a little closer over there, as you may have seen a moment ago, that the house down around the foundation is loose all the way around.
Oh,
So
absolutely, which is one of the reasons it has to come down, and certainly it's not the only one here that has to do that. Over here to the other side of us, you'll see a vacant lot. Well, certainly that's not what was there a month ago. That was a house at one time. Lots of folks, as you can see, residents here in the neighborhood are getting back to normal out running, but these folks are going to have to completely rebuild. Farther behind us, there's I'm not sure if you can see it, but they've put up in place where their living room window once was, is now plywood. And they have spray painted on that piece of plywood, "I survived." I'm sure they're very proud and feel very fortunate, blessed. Many people in this area, that seems to be what the residents keep telling me. They just feel blessed that they survived this storm.
Heidi, you know, one thing that strikes us after 1 month is driving through here or walking through, for instance, behind us. It looks like this could have happened just last night.
Oh, absolutely. There is still so much damage. But the thing is, it really did happen 1 month ago. And now the real problem is not so much with Mother Nature as it is with man. And Chris Allen has more on that.
The cleanup continues. So do repairs. For some, man, not Mother Nature, is creating headaches.
We've had a major problem about getting them to pick up the shingles and stuff from being out here. The city won't pick it up, and the man that done the roof said that the city was supposed to pick it up.
When the storm ripped the roof off Brandy and Samantha's home, the city picked up all types of storm trash. Now they won't. They're picking up downed trees only.
I feel for her. I can understand, you know, she want most of this stuff out of her yard and stuff, but we can only do so much.
In most cases, it's the contractor's responsibility to remove building materials. The city says contractors know the rules.
It's expensive. It's about $21 a ton, and this kind of stuff right here, wood and stuff like that, sure adds up.
The Ledfords say their roofer won't clean up. Brandy says it's just one more problem to contend with. If the city won't pick up the mess, some residents have some pretty basic ways of getting rid of it.
Well, let me just show you a couple of other things. It matters where the damage is, where are the things that you'd like to get over to the road. Even if you were to take this door out to the drive, the city still won't take it. It's just another one of the problems a lot of people have to contend with. People who are, of course, working with contractors are supposed to, of course, have that contractor dispose of that. A lot of them aren't, and they're being stuck with it. Glenn, Jennifer?
All right, we're back live here.
Yes, I think we are. While all the destruction was happening in this area early that Saturday morning, it was business as usual at Women's East Pavilion on Gun Barrel Road. Just about the time the tunnel cloud was passing over the hospital, wreaking havoc on all sides of it, it left the hospital virtually untouched. And at that time, a little girl, Sadie Lynn Doom, was born. We went and talked to Sadie and her parents not long, actually just days after she was born. You can see here the video, how close the destruction was to the hospital, but it was untouched. And then here's little Sadie today. She is 1 month old today and happy as she can be. But her parents will never forget the hour their tornado baby came into the world.
We'll always talk about that. Because, I mean, how can you forget? It was such an eventful day, you know, when you buy those cards on the day you were born cards. She'll really have a lot on the day she was born.
You don't want to do that. That wouldn't be very kind, would it?
Another reminder came last week when Sadie was baptized. The pastor talked about God's divine providence sparing Sadie's life. In truth, everyone could be grateful because no lives were lost in this powerful tornado. I'm Jennifer Barron, and we're live at Hickory Trace Apartments. We're going to toss it back to Lisa George now in the News 12 newsroom with more on today's news. Lisa?
Thanks, Jennifer. The man accused of killing a Soddy Daisy woman in Kansas is in court today. We will tell you what happened. We will also have the latest on the West Texas standoff. Police are bringing in the big guns. And from Dayton Boulevard, details on the suspicious death of a man at a motel. Stay with us for those stories and much more on the tornado in this very special edition of News 12 at 5.
Let me tell you about how UC Lending kept us from drowning in debt. We owed a few people some money.
They had a lot of bills.
We couldn't get a loan to pay off our bills because of our credit history.
Oh, yes, they could.
My sister told me to call UC Lending. They put us in touch with this nice guy named Barry.
I thought his name was Larry.
Barry.
You would have thought he wanted us to get the money more than we did. He even came out to our house.
I was just doing my job.
He helped us put all our bills on one payment and saved us $300 a month. $300 a month. He even helped us pay for this.
Just what she said.
We were so happy with UC Lending, we told a few friends.
If you own your home, call UC Lending now and let's see what we can do for you.
It's a home improvement makeover when Brad has a brush with the barber.
I got a haircut.
What, a weed whacker? On Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. Tonight at 7 only on WDEF-News 12.
It's good to have lots of choices about where you eat, but it's even better to make sure where you eat has lots of choices, like Shoney's, where you can enjoy pasta your way. Choose any pasta and sauce for only $6.49. Add shrimp or chicken for just a little more. Dinner comes with Shoney's unlimited salad bar, too. So forget dinner their way, have dinner your way at Shoney's. Let's eat. And now get Shoney's Spaghetti Lunch Special for just $3.99.
What would you do if your best friend told you a secret?
You're handing me the only weapon that could stop him. I have to remain anonymous.
That could bring down a senator.
Your tape is a fake. I'm completely innocent of any charges.
I shouldn't have given you that tape.
What if telling the truth?
I expect you to pull off this story.
I'm not naming my source.
Would destroy the one you love.
How'd you find out?
I'm a reporter. It's my job to find things out. Jane Seymour, William Devane. Prepare to be shocked by the absolute truth. CBS Wednesday.
Chattanooga police are on the scene right now of a suspicious death in a Dayton Boulevard motel. Police have not released any details yet, but they are investigating the death of a man who apparently worked at this motel, the North Side Inn on Dayton Boulevard. One man who lives there says he heard gunshots around 10 o'clock last night.
I got up and looked, and I didn't see nothing. Sat back down, and about 10 minutes later I heard the second shot. It sounded like it was coming towards the front. I didn't even get up, didn't even pay no attention. I thought somebody driving by my window back. There's a road back there. I thought somebody was driving around shooting.
No word yet on who the victim is. The second suspect in the Baskin-Robbins slaying is now back in Tennessee. Jerry Shelley waived extradition and officers took him from Dalton to Jasper, Tennessee just before noon today. Authorities say Shelley and James Jones, both from Marion County, are suspects in the murders of 2 women at the Baskin-Robbins in Clarksville.
There's outstanding charges in Marion County. I don't think that anything officially has been brought forth from Clarksville right now, but he is still facing charges here in Whitfield County.
Police in Marion County are holding both men on outstanding warrants. Both victims of the murder, Michelle Mace and Angela Holmes, were buried today. A Kansas judge is now hearing testimony that will help him decide whether there's enough evidence to try a drifter for the murder of a Soddy Daisy woman. Police say Alan Eugene White killed 56-year-old Carol Abercrombie, her 80-year-old mother, and 5-year-old grandson at the mother's home in Salina, Kansas last July. Abercrombie was from Soddy Daisy. Testimony in White's preliminary hearing is expected to continue tomorrow. A former Army drill instructor is guilty of raping 6 female trainees. That story from the Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland tops our look around the nation. A military jury returned the guilty verdict today after 5 days of deliberating charges against Staff Sergeant Delmar Simpson. Under court-martial rules, the 6-member jury did not have to agree unanimously, but there's no word on what the vote count was. Jurors will decide Simpson's sentence after hearing additional testimony. It's one of the most infamous auto parts in history, and it's now on display in Denver, a piece of evidence in the Oklahoma City bombing trial. Prosecutors are trying to tie a Ryder rental truck to Timothy McVeigh. A Ryder company executive testified the axle number in evidence matched that of a truck rented in Kansas 2 days before the bombing. He said the name of the renter was Bob Kling. Prosecutors are trying to prove that Bob Kling and Timothy McVeigh are one and the same. 2 armored personnel carriers have arrived at the site of a standoff in West Texas. That's the latest in the confrontation between police and armed separatists. There's no indication of whether or when agents might use the carriers to end the stalemate. The armed group, calling itself Republic of Texas, has been holed up for 3 days. A huge change in the weather from a month ago until now, and Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core is in East Brainerd to tell us about that in our very special edition of News 12 at 5. Patrick?
Yeah, that's right, Lisa. Finally, the sun has returned, as it has been gloomy, kind of stormy for the last few days, but I think we've turned the corner. Pretty nice out here, and it's going to stay nice through your evening hours. We'll go ahead and get into that 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. First of all, let's see what's going to happen in just a few minutes as we head through your night-out forecast, and there it is, 62 degrees, as skies will remain mostly clear. Temperatures will be nice and comfortable out there, so if you're going to be heading out, maybe taking an evening walk, no problems out there. And on the radar, all of that rain that we've had the last couple of days now moving off the Carolina coastline through Charlotte and Wilmington and Hatteras, as a few showers are now trying to pop back up over the northern plains, and that's going to be the next weather system we'll keep an eye on. It looks like maybe a Wednesday night, Thursday morning cold front will move through, but hopefully not too much in the way of rainfall. As we head into your evening hours, temperatures will stay nice through 7 o'clock. Look at that, 70 degrees. It is almost perfect out here, 59 by midnight, and temperatures will be right around 50 by tomorrow morning, but watch out, that patchy fog could be as thick as pea soup again by morning, so keep that in mind off to work and school. Overnight lows around 50 from Jasper, Haletown, up through Soddy and Sale and Cleveland and Athens. A little bit warmer down from Fort Payne to Dalton, but generally around 50, with some of the higher elevations perhaps into the upper 40s. As we head into Skyfly, we'll take a look at basically a pretty nice day shaping up for the southeast. This is the first nice day we've had in quite some time. And we'll head back into the northern plains to take a look at that next cold front that's just now getting its act together over parts of the Big Sky and the Colorado Rockies, as those thunder showers have been pretty gusty over there. But by tomorrow, they'll be moving into the Missouri River Valley. So from KC down to Oklahoma City, look for a few showers, and warmer temperatures will really start moving in. That is going to be the big change in our forecast over the next 4 or 5 days. High temperatures tomorrow maybe bumping 80 degrees, so a taste of summertime returns to the valley. As we put that into motion, that cold front will rapidly move on to the east, so look for just perhaps a pencil-thin line of showers to move through late Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning, and after that will dry out again. High pressure will move in, and we'll see highs back into the 70s. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get back into that forecast, and there you see it. Tomorrow, hump day, 80 degrees. That's not all bad. After that, we may see a few showers, but don't worry about that too much. Friday and most of Saturday looking good. Warm temperatures again, but thunderstorms will greet us perhaps for Saturday night into Sunday morning. We'll watch these to see if they are strong, because this could be a pretty significant system we'll have to deal with. So Sunday, look for more showers, and that will clear out Monday and Tuesday. But the big change in our next 5 to 7 days, Glenn and Jennifer, are the warm temperatures. Yeah. It feels pretty spring-like out now, and probably by tomorrow afternoon we may feel summer-like.
You know, I don't think we've hit 80 so far this spring, have we?
No, we haven't, and tomorrow may be the first of maybe a few this week that we may hit 80.
Well, that'll certainly be good, because I know for all the workers here working on these units here at the Hickory Trace Townhomes, it's gotten so muddy here with all the rain that we've had, as you might imagine, that it's hard for them to get around without getting all muddy and tromping mud in and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be good to get everything dried out here, because that certainly does help with the cleanup.
Yeah, it will be, and I think the next 3 or 4 days will be pretty good.
Yes, thank you so much, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick. Still to come on this special edition of News 12, we'll go to Bradley County and Tiftonia and show you how they're faring 1 month after the storm.
Yes, we don't want to forget victims there either. And, of course, cleaning up after the storm does cost a pretty penny. We'll talk to a vice president at the Electric Power Board here in Chattanooga about how much it cost them and the trouble they faced when we come back here on News 12 at 5.
It's today's cool taste. Cert's Cool Mint Drops. 2 mints in 1. Cool mint taste, plus an active breath-freshening ingredient, Retsin. Treat your breath to Cool Mint Drops, only from Cert's.
To stop itch, get Benadryl cream. It stops itch on the skin surface. Then Benadryl penetrates to block the histamine that triggers itch. Hydrocortisones can't do that. Block the histamine and ditch the itch with Benadryl cream.
What causes denture odor? Get close and you'll see. Germs. Introducing Efferdent Plus with Fresh Burst Listerine ingredients. It kills odor-causing germs, so you can get this close. New Minty Efferdent Plus. Kill the germs, kill the odor.
This season, I'm always congested, but some medicines cause unwanted side effects. So I take Sudafed.
Sudafed drains sinus pressure, clears nasal congestion, with no over-drying, no drowsiness.
For strong relief without those side effects, take Sudafed instead.
I'm Heidi Robinson, here with my son Blake, and if you're like us, you won't want to miss the stroller parade at the Kaleidoscope Festival, May 2nd through the 4th.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free.
They're doing more because thanks to Sprint, all their long distance on Fridays is free.
While the rest of the week, they're still getting Sprint's low flat rates. Even better, call now and get Fridays free until the year 2000 with no term commitment. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Fridays free, only from Sprint Business.
On March 29th, a tornado touched down in the Tennessee Valley, destroying local neighborhoods. Were we ready? What could we have done differently? If it happens again, how can you keep your family safe? News 12 wants to make sure you're ready. Meteorologist Patrick Cord shows you how to protect your family and your home. Watch Safe from the Storm, tonight at 6 on WDEF-News 12. People you can count on.
We're in good shape. We've got all the debris cleaned up. One of the chicken houses that the roof was missing off of, we now have repaired, and we've got all of our pricing together and plan to start in the next couple of weeks repairing and rebuilding the 2 other houses that were completely damaged.
A month ago, we showed you how the tornado crushed 2 of Frank Wheatley's chicken barns. 1 month later, in Bradley County, he's torn down the damaged buildings, and like others in this rural part of Bradley County, he's waiting for the insurance company to make good his losses.
Tiftonia called in the first report of damage from the storm, but overall the area fared pretty well. Several businesses and homes were damaged, but today most of the scars don't show and no one lost their home. And of course, when a disaster like this happens, there are many heroes in the aftermath of the storm, but I don't know if anyone worked harder than the Electric Power Board crews who worked literally round the clock.
That's right. We're joined now by Electric Power Board Vice President Jack Case. Thanks so much for joining us here. Of course, when we think about this tornado, we think about our other disasters that we've had recently here in the Tennessee Valley. Hurricane Opal and the big blizzard both come to mind. How does this compare with both of those disasters as far as y'all are concerned?
Well, this storm here was concentrated in a specific area. The blizzard and hurricane was quite a large area that we had to cover, and we probably had as many people working on this storm as we did Hurricane Opal and the blizzard. It does create some safety problems when we get this close together with that many people having to energize lines and de-energize lines to make sure we don't do something wrong.
Now, when this happened, and you said that it was more concentrated, you were able to get power more quickly to people than you had in past disasters.
Yes, that's true, but we had engineering people in the field by 8 o'clock that morning trying to assess the damage. the roads were virtually impassable. About 10 o'clock, I was able to take a helicopter from TVA and assess the damage from the air. At that point, we determined we needed the extra crews in here to do the work, and we were able to get them in by about 6 o'clock Saturday night. Therefore, that let us get the power back on to everybody that could receive it by around 4:30 Tuesday.
We want to talk about this map here that you brought with us. We want to take a look over here. Show us what we're looking at here. We see these two yellow areas here on this map as we're looking at some of the damage. We're getting our shot set up here. Two damaged areas here in East Brainerd and in Tiftonia, too. What are we looking at?
Yes, this is the calls that we received the night of the tornado, starting in Tiftonia and then in East Brainerd at about 1:15. The lower areas are blow-ups of those, and you can see that East Brainerd received the bulk of the damage. The colored dots you see are the poles that we actually had to work due to the damage. Red ones indicating poles that were broken.
Now, are you completely finished with what you're doing in terms of trying to, power is back, but is your work completed?
Our work is essentially completed. We do have some houses that haven't been refinished yet, so therefore we can't put service back, and we're waiting until they give us a call, and we have people standing by that can restore service as they need it.
We talked about the expense of something like this. How much does it cost you folks?
To date, it's around $824,000.
And we have learned just in the past few days that consumers might feel a little pinch in their rates to help you all defray some of the cost of it.
Well, that's probably true, and if you look over the last 5 years with all of the storms that we've had, it has depleted our coffers, so to speak, and with the new deregulation down the future and us trying to keep reliable service in, it's something that we need.
Money's got to come from somewhere.
It certainly does.
Jack Case, thank you so much from the Electric Power Board. You know, Jennifer, it has been 1 month now, if you're just joining us at home, 1 month to the day that this tornado ravaged this part of Hamilton County, part of Bradley County, and over in Tiftonia as well. And many people came by with helping hands to help other people out.
There are tons of things to go around. And Jack just mentioned, we talked about his crews being out. When I was out in one of the East Brainerd areas, some folks actually nailed a little cardboard piece onto a telephone pole that said, "Thanks, EBP, you did a great job." So they were appreciative of them. Of course, there are good Samaritans running all over the area that have wanted to help, and of course, there's a lot of people that need that help.
That's right, and even 1 month later, there are still families out there that could use your help, and with more on that, we turn now to Linda Edwards and Jonathan Panker in Ooltewah at the Samaritan Center.
That's right, Glenn and Jennifer. We are at the Samaritan Center. There are a lot of good Samaritans have come by to help, but we need a few more good Samaritans because it has been a month, but there are still a lot of families out there who have just now recognized some of the needs.
Yeah, a lot of them are just now coming in to claim some of the supplies and some of the money. Supplies are pouring in, and what they need now is money. We're going to tell you how you can help as this special edition of News 12 continues.
This year, at Six Flags, answer the call to Batman the Ride. Imagine the air below, the sky above. You are Batman when you fly the world's greatest suspended outside looping nothing like on Earth experience. Not even at Disney. Come. Answer the call to Batman the Ride. Now at Six Flags over Georgia.
Our new Dentine will surprise you.
Dentine ice, nothing's colder than ice.
Introducing Dentine Ice.
Nothing's cooler.
Outside, a frosty shell.
Nothing's colder than ice.
Inside, a new kind of chewing gum specially made to hold on to the cold. Discover how cool freshness can feel, how long it can last.
Dentine Ice.
New Dentine Ice. Nothing's colder than ice.
I'm Heidi Robinson, here with my son Blake, and if you're like us, you won't want to miss the stroller parade at the Collegedale Festival, May 2nd through the 4th.
What causes denture odor? Get close and you'll see. Germs. Introducing Efferdent Plus with fresh burst Listerine ingredients. It kills odor-causing germs, so you can get this close. New Minty Efferdent Plus. Kill the germs, kill the odor.
This season, I'm always congested, but some medicines cause unwanted side effects. So I take Sudafed.
Sudafed drains sinus pressure, clears nasal congestion, with no overdrying, no drowsiness.
For strong relief without those side effects, take Sudafed instead.
On March 29th, a tornado touched down in the Tennessee Valley, destroying local neighborhoods. Were we ready? What could we have done differently? If it happens again, how can you keep your family safe? News 12 wants to make sure you're ready. Meteorologist Patrick Cord shows you how to protect your family and your home. Watch Safe from the Storm tonight at 6 on WDEF-News 12. People you can count on.
Welcome back to the Samaritan Center, everyone. I'm Wanda. We're here because a very special organization got together soon after the tornado hit Hamilton County, came up with ways that people could be helped and see what needs are not being met. I want to introduce you to Russell Freeberg. He is with Heritage Funeral Home. He is a member of the Samaritan Assistance Council, which is working through the Samaritan Center here in Ooltewah. Tell me about what this council is doing for these families out there.
The council is helping assess different people's needs that have been affected by the storm. We've raised a little over $16,000, $17,000 in cash, plus all of the different things that have been turned in as far as the goods you see in this room here. And the assistance that we're providing is trying to find the people that have the greatest needs and providing them with the cash or the merchandise here that they need to get.
Things that they're not getting through other agencies. For instance, you've had a lot of reports of cars that had windows busted out and they needed to have those replaced. Tree removals, which can be expensive.
Exactly. So many people weren't prepared, of course, for this, and even if they did have some insurance, they have trouble meeting their deductible, or a lot of the things weren't insured. So we're trying to fill those gaps.
Okay, Russell, thank you very much. We will be bringing you more from the Samaritan Center in Ooltewah in just a few minutes. Now we go back to Glenn and Jennifer.
Right, Linda. So many folks at the Samaritan Center have done such a great job helping out, helping people. And as Linda mentioned in her interview, there are so many people that still could use the help. Families, even 1 month later, need help with clothes and other goods for their homes and for their families. And for that, we hope that you'll consider picking up the phone and giving what you can to the Samaritan Center. They're located right there in Ooltewah. We will be back in just a moment.
Well, if I had money to tell you what to do, I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck.
Get $1,000 cash back on a Ranger or finance America's highest quality best-selling compact pickup for a low 2.9%. $1,000 cash back for 2-9 financing. Only from your local Ford dealer. Home of 5 of the 10 best-selling vehicles in America.
The best-built, best-selling American trucks are built Ford tough.
Woo! My daughter's cut was tiny, so all I did was wash it. But then it got all red, and when it started to swell, the doctor said I needed to bring Jill in right away.
To help prevent infection, even the smallest cuts need Neosporin. Compared to some store brands, Neosporin has an extra active ingredient to kill more strains of infectious bacteria. And new Neosporin helps cuts heal even faster than before.
I will never leave another cut untreated.
Use new, faster healing Neosporin. Every cut, every time.
It's good to have lots of choices about where you eat, but it's even better to make sure where you eat has lots of choices, like Shoney's, where you can enjoy pasta your way. Choose any pasta and sauce for only $6.49. Add shrimp or chicken for just a little more. Dinner comes with Shoney's unlimited salad bar, too. So forget dinner their way, have dinner your way at Shoney's. Let's eat. And now get Shoney's Spaghetti Lunch Special for just $3.99.
WDEF.
911.
Hi, a tornado just hit my house, and I live in Tiftonia, and the garage is gone behind us, and I don't know if those people are okay or not. Pardon me, ma'am, I'm so scared. What do we do?
Okay, you're just going to have to stay calm, ma'am. 911 emergency.
Yes, sir. We just had a tornado here at Hickory Valley Road at the Hickoryville Apartments.
You just had a tornado?
Yes, sir. It ripped the hell out of here.
Okay. Does anybody need an ambulance?
I don't know. I think it's still around. It's scaring the hell out of everybody. I mean, it just stripped the trees bare, and it did a lot of damage.
Is anyone hurt where you're there, sir?
No, sir. I just thought you guys might need to know because, I mean, it just came through fast, real fast.
Frightened voices in the night, those that you just heard. 1 month ago today, those were the first people that called in to report there was a tornado that had ripped through the East Brainerd area. Welcome back to News 12's special edition of the East Brainerd tornado 1 month later.
That's right. She's Jennifer Barrett. I'm Glenn Halbrooks. Thank you for joining us for this. This is 1 month to the day that this storm hit and ravaged this part of the community, this part of the Tennessee Valley.
Standing in one of the places that was ravaged. We're on Hickory Trace townhomes out in East Brainerd.
That's right. And in the months since, a lot of work has begun. A lot of work is left to go. And we're going to show you a little bit about what the workers are doing. They have been busy while many of us that were not affected by the storm may have forgotten about it and just kind of put it in the back of our heads. They have been very busy ever since, and let's take a look. 1 month after the tornado, some units at the Hickory Trace townhomes are almost ready to be lived in again. Some workers still can't believe all this devastation.
I don't see how I didn't tear up everything. You know, luckily somebody could have. I don't see how nobody get hurt.
For every unit that looks like this, there are many more like these. They'll have to be demolished.
Oh gosh, we've done several units, and there's more to go.
How long do you think it's going to take?
Roughly about a year.
Still, a lot has happened since March 29th when families all along Hickory Valley Road watched their homes fall to pieces in front of their eyes.
First it started out with the wind, then it looked like hubcaps, debris. By the time my friend said, man, we need to get in your bathtub, so we went and got in the bathtub, and next thing we knew, it felt like the whole building was picking up around us.
Now, a month later, the sun shines and hope returns as workers rebuild. The work is steady, and that's good, but with all this debris that remains even a month later, there is still a danger out here for work crews. For instance, there are rusty nails just about everywhere throughout the property, and even the most experienced workers are stepping on them. That's why crew leaders are warning their workers to watch where they walk and are trying to move out debris quickly. They need all their workers to remain healthy because they know they'll be working for months to come.
Well, there's downside and a good side for everybody. You know, one man's misery is another man's gain, and unfortunately it has to happen, but it does.
As he said, one man's misery is another man's gain. None of the construction workers are happy about all this, but they're the ones who now it's their job to pick up the pieces. I want to show you something here. We're inside one of the units here at the Hickory Trace townhomes. Got something interesting to show you. Look at this bird's nest up here. Workers tell me that is a dove's nest that was built here before they got here. The first day they started working on this particular unit, the dove tried to chase them off, but in the days and weeks since, the dove has kind of learned their routine, and they've learned the dove's routine. They say the dove sits back in a tree that you can't see here. There's a bird flying right there. Perhaps that was it. And sits back in the tree while they work on this unit. Then when they take their break every couple of hours, the bird flies into its nest, and there's 3 eggs up there. It sits on the eggs while they take their break. Then when they come back, sometimes the bird stays, sometimes the bird flies off, goes back into that tree, and waits for them to take their next break. Just one of the interesting stories that we found this afternoon covering what's left of some of this devastation that was here for the past month, and now they're finally cleaning it up.
That's kind of a unique balance of nature with the bird and the workers. Yep. Everyone has a place and finds their place in it. So.
That's exactly what the workers said, how ironic it is that in the midst of all this chaos and this damage and destruction, there's something as serene as a bird nest here in the midst of all the rest of this.
That's right.
Well, you know, President Clinton has declared many parts of the Tennessee Valley federal disaster areas, and that means money is coming right here to our area.
So the federal and state emergency management teams immediately went to work. FEMA set up a disaster application center here in Chattanooga. They offer information and applications for federal grants and low-interest loans. After 3 weeks here, FEMA and the Small Business Administration are finally wrapping it up.
Well, there's no question that we feel most people who have been affected by the disaster have had the opportunity to visit us. We've had more than 300 people come into the facility in the time that we've been open. And there's also no question that there has been a dramatic reduction in the number of visits that we've received in the past few days.
And the FEMA and TEMA workers immediately went to work after the storm. They've been working, well, for a month now. They went door to door, and they have helped hundreds and if not thousands of families here in the area. We're going to go now to Heidi Robinson and Bill Mitchell, who are in another area, Hamilton Mill, that was hard hit by the tornadoes. Heidi, Bill?
That's right. We are in Hamilton Mill Subdivision, and Jennifer and Glenn were talking about some of the ironies of this damage. Behind us is one of those. You can see off behind us there are 2 houses, one right next to the other. The one on the right, the flowers were not touched. The house is in perfect condition. They had a little bit of minor damage, not too much. To the left, This house is another one of those that will be demolished. You can see there's just very little left of that garage. They've had to pull everything that they're going to try to salvage out of it. There are some toys and some various household goods sitting in front of what's left of that garage. And of course, the tornado just came through and really just ate it alive.
Well, again, we say that just goes over one house and gets a whole block, and in fact, just about a block down that way, I think it got 4 or 5 in a row. That's the one that, that's the area we have concentrated on the most.
It really did hopscotch. In fact, one of the houses across the street, some of the folks who live here were telling me that the storm came into their house, blew out their windows, and they had a beautiful flower arrangement sitting on their dining room table. All of the windows were blown out, and the flower arrangement was left sitting absolutely in the same place it was. None of the flowers were disturbed.
This building right here has a 2x4 through the back wall that you can't pull out. I've tried.
It's just so, right. There are so many ironies and so many different things, and certainly this tornado had no rhyme nor reason to it.
When we come back in just a minute, we're going to be talking with Bruce Garner of the Emergency Management Services, and he has something that's pretty interesting. It's an idea of how people can be warned even when they're asleep. We'll do that right after this.
Stay with us.
Hello, fans. This is John Ward for the Advance Auto Parts Race in the Spring Sale. And leading the pack, why, it's Sterling Marlin. Look at him go. He's racing around the everyday low prices on the largest selection anywhere.
64-ounce Turtle Wax Zip Wash, just $3.99. Avalon conventional weight motor oil, just 99 cents a quart.
Sterling, how was it out there?
You know, John, with these low prices, how can you lose?
Don't miss the Advance Auto Parts Race in the Spring Sale going on now.
We did it! The doctor did it, Jenny Craig!
Introducing our new medical weight loss program.
This is incredible news. Jenny Craig now has doctors in the centers, and they can prescribe the latest in weight loss medication.
I did it. I joined Jenny Craig's new medical weight loss program, and I've already lost 25 pounds.
Jenny Craig's new program is now just a phone call away. Call 1-800-97-JENNY. That's 1-800-97-JENNY.
Call to find out more about Jenny Craig's new medical weight loss program now.
Come discover Kaleidoscope.
Because
K is for kids.
A is for animal band.
L is for laughter.
E is for excitement.
I is for imagination.
D is for dog praise.
O is for outrageous.
S is for spectacular.
C is for craft.
O is for out of this world.
P is for puppets.
E is for every kid.
Kaleidoscope, a creative festival for kids ages 2 to 102.
Coming May 2nd through 4th to Ross's Landing.
It's a home improvement makeover.
Dobie makes a wonderful mud pack for the face.
When Brad has a brush with the barber.
What happened to you?
I got a haircut.
What, a weed whacker?
Now the new do has Tim saying don't.
Would you stop bugging me, Dad? I mean, it's my hair.
Yeah, but your hair lives in my house.
Will the cut tear Brad and Tim apart?
He looks like Pebbles Flintstone.
Fine.
Well, fine.
Fine.
Go fine.
Double fine.
Fine, 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 fine.
On the next Home Improvement.
Back-to-back Home Improvement. Tonight at 7 only on WDEF-News 12.
Nice sun.
Yeah, we got a sun right in our face here.
We sure do. And we are back here live in Hamilton Mill with Bruce Garner of the Emergency Management System talking about the damage that happened just 1 month ago.
Bruce, we were talking a little earlier, some things that I thought were very interesting. First of all, let's set the stage. How well did the present system work? And then we'll talk about something you might be able to do later.
Well, Billy could use some improvement, and you've already had some stories on it to talk about the lack of radar coverage we have.
Right.
Morristown is too far away. We look forward to having the new system in Hytop, Alabama, the new Doppler system, to give us a better view of what's coming. That said, the system is working about as well as it can right now. We think it's going to improve middle summer and getting a better view of tornadoes approaching.
But the point is, if somebody's asleep, it doesn't matter how good the system is, and this one happened about 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. There's the crux of the matter here. I mean, even if they had a good view of the tornado approaching and they had warnings issued through no weather radio and all that, it really wouldn't have mattered that much because, unfortunately, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's, for the most part, all the TVs are off, the radios are off, and there's no way for us to get the word out. So we've got to find a better way to get that warning out. That's what we're working on.
Let's go back 1 month and talk about when you first learned about what was happening, when the tornado struck, when you first learned about everything that was going on.
Well, for me personally, I live in North Chattanooga, and I could hear the storm like everybody else, including large hail, which was a signal to me anyway that this was a very strong storm and potential for a tornado. Soon after that, though, for me and many others, our pagers went off, and we got word very quickly that a tornado would touch down, really in Tiftonia first, then moved over to East Brainerd area and went on from there. And from there, it was police, Chattanooga police arriving on the scene first. They're the first ones really to discover just how bad it was, and moved on into Chattanooga Fire Department and the rest of us. So it moved very quickly, and the response activities were really great. We practice these things on a regular basis, but you can only practice so much for a disaster this large.
Now, there was something that we were talking about during the break, a very exciting replacement for the current EBS system.
Right, Heidi. What we've got is a new system called Emergency Alerting System. It replaces the old EBS system. And it's a new digital 90s technology, and it'll be in many ways similar to EBS. You'll hear the tone alert on radio and TV and all that. What will be much better for us in the long run is that there are going to be new devices sold like TVs, radios, smoke detectors, which are very affordable, that will have a certain encoder chip in it. And with that, we can activate that smoke alarm of the radio or TV at 1 o'clock in the morning, for example, like we had last month, and warn you of impending danger like a tornado. And it'll tell you, tornado warning, take cover. And that would be a vast improvement of what we got right now.
How soon could something like that be put into effect?
It's a matter of months, maybe a year, something like that. We're putting the equipment in now. The radio stations, TVs are as well, and we're getting our own equipment bought. It's going to take a little while to get this going, but we hope as soon as possible, maybe just a matter of just a few months, we hope.
This is already in the works.
Oh, it's already in the works.
It's going to happen.
It's been in the works for some time now. It's just a matter of getting the gears turned around for us to implement that particular program.
All right.
One of the things that we had also talked about, our photographer, Lewis Lee, who is here with us, says that he has one of the little, I think he said $15, is that right, Lewis? Little $15 weather warning system that he purchased at a local electronics store.
Right. We've been preaching that for some time too, Heidi. Tone alert weather radios. They're not the traditional radio that you have to leave on all the time. They stay silent most of the time, and whenever a watch or a warning is issued, you'll hear a little alarm go off, and it'll tell you of a tornado watch or a warning, or severe thunderstorm watch or warning. And really, that's a nice thing to buy right now until we get the other system arranged. It's about 30, 35, 40 bucks.
A little bit more
and a little more expensive, but I mean, it's your life at stake and your family, so I think it's worth it.
Now, Bruce, looking back on all this now, you all were very busy for a couple of days there. How well did the whole system work? In other words, this is an area that they say you're not supposed to have tornadoes here. The mountain will protect us. Obviously, that's not true. How did your emergency management setup work, all things told?
Well, we've all talked about it and reviewed how things went, and Bill, frankly, we're pretty pleased with the way things went. Everybody integrated well. We coordinated our response activities real well. Everybody kind of rose to the occasion. Like I said earlier, you can't really plan too much for a disaster of this magnitude. I mean, things are going to happen, roads are going to be blocked, things like that, but overall, we felt like things were handled pretty well.
Bruce Garner, thank you very much for coming out and enlightening us on that new system. That's pretty exciting.
And I think that most of the residents who were helped by the emergency management systems would also agree that you all did deserve a big hats off for your quick work.
We do what we can anyway.
All right, Bruce, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of our special News 12 coverage after this.
Let me tell you about how UC Lending is making our house bigger and our monthly payments smaller. 3 boys, 2 bedrooms. We needed to add on.
He needed a loan.
But because we had so many bills, we couldn't just walk into a bank and get a loan.
He was frustrated.
I was very frustrated. A buddy told me to call UC Lending. They put me in touch with Mike.
That's me.
He came out to our house and helped us with our paperwork.
I did.
He gave us the money for the extra room, and he saved us $400 a month.
I did that too.
Applying was easy, and I quickly got the money so I could hire these guys.
That's the way we do it.
If it wasn't for UC Lending, I couldn't have done this.
If you own your home, call UC Lending now, and let's see what we can do for you.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free. They're doing more because thanks to Sprint, all their long distance on Fridays is free, while the rest of the week they're still getting Sprint's low flat rates. Even better, call now and get Fridays free until the year 2000 with no term commitment. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Fridays free, only from Sprint Business.
And now we're going to head back over to Jennifer Barron, who is standing by. Jennifer?
Thanks a lot, Heidi. Well, you know, the immediate Chattanooga area and the East Brainerd area weren't the only ones to feel the wrath of Mother Nature this spring. Just last week, some folks down in Alabama, DeKalb County, more specifically the town of Rainsville, got hit by a tornado. And while it wasn't as big of an area as it was up here in Chattanooga, just as devastating. News 12's Timothy Bradfield is in Rainsville today, and he has a report for us. Timothy?
We have a story for you from Rainsville, Alabama, about a man who lost nearly everything in last week's storm, yet he spent all his time helping others in the community. I'm Timothy Bradfield. We'll have that live report coming up for you in just a moment. Rainsville's fire chief is taking it one by. Recovery is already 1 week old, and the chore of salvaging the fire department isn't over.
It's going to be hard to tell till we get it over there and unbox everything and see what's all damaged and wet and go from there. I'm sure a lot of it's going to be just thrown away.
Chief Helton estimates the tornado claimed 90% of the fire department, including communication equipment, vehicles, and the building. And for him, the list of losses goes on.
All my furniture was in this area here. Lost every bit of it, all my furniture.
The twister also wiped out Chief Helton's apartment, which was next door to the fire department.
So what we see is what's left. What's left, that's it. Nothing but a shell.
But even in the face of personal adversity, his firefighting focus stayed the same.
After it first hit, I was like anyone else, I'm sure, in shock for the first, few minutes of it. But I had neighbors that lived on the other side of me, 3 ladies and a small child. I could hear them in distress. So I guess I went from victim to rescuer, so to speak.
Helton helped his neighbors out of the danger zone and hasn't looked back.
I just feel like I'm doing my job. I don't consider myself a hero or anything else. That, what I'm trained to do, and it kicks in, when it needs to, and that's what I've done.
And for a smaller town, it's a little bit different. I mean, if you thought that folks came together in Chattanooga in a town as small as Rainsville, every single person in that town was helping out.
That's right, and it's a kind of interesting that it's been a month since our tornado here in Chattanooga, and exactly a week since their tornado in Rainsville, and already they've made such progress down there, and they do have a long ways to go in terms of getting their police department and their fire department back. I want to show you some pictures here.
This is really neat what you found.
Construction workers told me that they've been trying to collect some of these pictures that they see that are just laying around in the grass. This is a picture of Pat Boone, it looks like, with some people possibly at Burger King sometime in the 80s. Do you recognize any of these pictures? They would love to get them back to you. Of course, you can see they're kind of muddy. Here is a baseball or perhaps a Little League softball game. You can see a baseball player there. Here is a lady with a young girl there in her lap on a white couch. And here's the same lady with some other kids on the same couch. Just come on by because they say they have found these pictures. There's a whole big pile of them there. And, of course, different piles of pictures all throughout the property here. And it would be easy to say, well, it's got to be these people's pictures because they live here. But they could be from anywhere. They could be from Tiftonia, who knows where. So,
and, of course, pictures are one of the things that folks treasure most. And when they lose their homes, a lot of times they say, well, I just wish I had the family pictures. And for some folks, there are still some pictures, a little muddy, like you said,
that's right,
Glenn, but you dusted some of those off.
You wouldn't want these pictures, and maybe the mud adds to it. You say, it survived the tornado, and here's this picture that we found. So just come on by. We're here at Hickory Trace Townhomes in East Brainerd, and look for your pictures if you're missing some.
There's still a few left. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you how more folks here in the Tennessee Valley are helping the victims in need. Stay with us.
Can I get life insurance at my age?
in my health?
I'd like to leave my loved ones with a little something when I'm gone, but I'm afraid I'm too old to get life insurance.
I don't want to burden my family with my final expenses. Where can I turn?
If you're like these nice folks and thought that life insurance after 45 was impossible to get or impossible to afford, I've got good news. If you're 45 to 79, Physicians Life guarantees you up to $10,000 of permanent modified whole life insurance designed to help pay your burial costs and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and no health questions. You can buy this policy if you're 45 to 79 and you're insured for life. Now, just $1 pays for your first month. After that, you can continue at an affordable renewal rate that can never go up. It's so easy to get and easy to afford. Now, let me tell you why this protection is so very important. All of us someday will leave behind final expenses for our loved ones to pay. There's no escaping that. Those burial costs can easily add up to thousands of dollars. You know, some people even expect the government to take care of their final expenses. But the fact is, Social Security pays a death benefit of only $255. That's not nearly enough to cover the cost of a funeral today. That's why I recommend this coverage so highly. It's one sure and affordable way you can help leave your loved ones with dollars instead of debts. For all the details, just call this toll-free number to get this free information kit from Physicians Life. You get it directly by mail. Now, there's no cost or obligation of any kind. You're merely calling for information. This is one phone call you and your loved ones will be thankful for later. So call now, okay? Okay.
We're here when you need us, Physicians Life.
Of course, folks say that a tornado comes in and gets out in a matter of seconds, but just as barely as it had gotten out, folks started pouring in. They started giving their donations and their help to folks, and the agencies that have been trying to coordinate that effort say the people in Hamilton County, their generosity and compassion has been endless.
If there's anything good to come out of this, it's that we realize this about ourselves and the folks around us. You know, neighbors that might not even know their next door neighbors' names, now they're best friends because they helped each other get through such a terrible night. But even 1 month after this tornado, as News 12's Sharon Rasmussen shows us now, the donations are still pouring in, but there's still a need, too.
Because I had no other clothes. I only had like a nightshirt on and shorts, that was it. And I had shoes on that was from a friend of mine. And, you know, I mean, I had nothing left.
Kathy Harden needs a little help starting over after the tornado, and she found that help at the Samaritan Center.
They'd give me money to go on, they'd give me clothes, they'd give me food, everything. I mean, you know, it's been a godsend. They have been a really big help to me.
Victims shop in the Samaritan Center thrift store free of charge thanks to their neighbors. Local agencies like this one depend on donations, and after the tornado, folks in Hamilton County opened their hearts and their closets.
It's been so overwhelming that it's overwhelmed us to the point that we don't have adequate space to really store everything that has come in.
So the Salvation Army is looking for a warehouse. The Samaritan Center is using the 3 empty stores next door.
We've been giving it away as quickly as we could, and it just doesn't seem to deplete the supply a lot.
I mean, that's good. I mean, it just indicates the compassion of this community, the goodness of the people, and we wouldn't ask them to stop giving for anything in the world.
The Salvation Army is asking for non-perishable food items to refill their cupboard, but at the Samaritan Center, they need something a little greener.
It's always hard to say, well, just, you know, give money, but that is the flexible item.
Both agencies say they'll keep taking donations for the victims of this storm or of the next one. In Hamilton County, Sharon Rasmussen, WDEF News 12.
And just a reminder that all donations to the Samaritan Center and to the Salvation Army are tax deductible, and they're still taking donations and contributions. If you'd like to give, just stop by or give them a call at the thrift shop. And as Jonathan and Linda said a little bit earlier in this newscast, the work that they do is so very important, but they need your help, and they still need your help. So if you are going to help and, you know, you just put it off and thought that there was not a need there, there still is a need. So please, your donations will be very much appreciated by the families in need. And we have just completed 60 minutes of a special edition of News 12 with a look back at the Easter weekend tornado. There are 30 more minutes to come. News 12 at 6 continues in just a few minutes with all the day's news, weather, and, of course, your look back at the tornado weekend. Stay with us.
How long since you've had a spring break?
Well, now's your chance. Have some fun and do it for not much money. Get the brake you need on a new T100 4x4 with savings up to $2,500. Talk about a price break. $2,500 off a rugged full-size T100 equipped. Or lease that same full-size 4x4 with a low down payment, just $299 a month. $299 a month. Now there's a break. You know a price break like this one won't last, so hurry. Get to your Toyota dealer for a spring break on a T100 4x4 now.
John Ward. Sterling Marlin. What are you doing here? Well, I'm considering a racing career. I've got the car. Right now, I'm looking for some hard-to-find parts. Are you sure? Don't miss the Advance Auto Parts Race into Spring Sale.
64-ounce Turtle Wax Zip Wash, just $3.99. Haviland conventional weight motor oil, just 99 cents a quart.
Don't miss the Race into Spring Sale going on now. Well, here she is. I don't know about this.
You come to Home Depot, you want lawn and garden, we've got it.
Small plants, big plants, you got your trees.
Lawn mowers, we have shovels, rakes, any type tool that's pertaining to lawn and garden, we have it.
We make sure that every garden department has certified nursery people.
We're experts.
You get fresh plants, plus you'll get the lowest prices in town, and that we guarantee.
Care for your lawn with our exclusive new line of Scott's lawn tractors and mowers at the guaranteed low price every day at the Home Depot.
It's good to have lots of choices about where you eat, but it's even better to make sure where you eat has lots of choices, like Shoney's, where you can enjoy pasta your way. Choose any pasta and sauce for only $6.49. Add shrimp or chicken for just a little more. Dinner comes with Shoney's unlimited salad bar, too. So forget dinner their way, have dinner your way at Shoney's. Let's eat. And now get Shoney's Spaghetti Lunch Special for just $3.99.
Saved from the storm. Tonight at 6 on WDEF News 12. You are watching News 12, WDEF-TV, Chattanooga. This is News 12 at 6.
They just feel like it's very, very crucial for his return for the ongoing investigation.
He's back in Tennessee.
Investigators say they now have the second of two men suspected in a brutal killing in Clarksville. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. We're out in Hamilton Mill, where we have been for the last hour, in case you haven't joined us earlier, talking about some of the destruction here and some of the cleanup going on.
That's right. We're here 1 month after the tornado hit here in Hamilton Mill and various places around East Brainerd. Of course, this was one of the areas that was hardest hit. In fact, we're standing in what's left of the driveway of a house that will be demolished on Thursday. One of many. There's one across the street that's already been demolished, a few down the street that will also be destroyed in not too long. We do have other news of the day to begin with.
Well, the second suspect in a brutal double murder is back in Tennessee now. Jerry Shelley was extradited back to Marion County after being captured in Whitfield County earlier this weekend.
He and another man are suspected of a Clarksville, Tennessee murder that left 2 women dead. News 12's Diana Dahl tells us what Shelley's extradition back to Marion County means.
After spending more than 72 hours in custody at the Whitfield County Jail, Jerry Shelley is extradited back to the Marion County Jail for questioning.
And Mr. Shelley, as of around lunchtime on Tuesday, has returned to the state of Tennessee with Tennessee authorities pending the investigation they have ongoing currently.
That investigation revolves around a double murder in Clarksville, Tennessee last Wednesday. 2 women who worked at this Baskin-Robbins store were kidnapped and then murdered. Their bodies were found a few miles from the store. So far, Jerry Shelley is not charged with the murders, but is being held on other charges.
If they develop other information, then they'll probably go to Clarksville. I couldn't say for sure, but they'll have to take care of the charges here first.
Shelley is not alone in facing multiple charges. Also in custody is James Jones. Jones turned himself into Marion County authorities Friday.
We're holding William Jones and Jerry Shelley at our facility here on charges of aggravated burglary, theft of property. Jones is being held also on a violation of probation. The state is sending one down now on Shelley.
Even when Tennessee authorities are through questioning Shelley, he must still go back to Whitfield County to face charges there stemming from his capture Friday night.
There's outstanding charges in Marion County. I don't think that anything officially has been brought forth from Clarksville right now, but he is still facing charges here in Whitfield County.
Diana Dahl, News 12.
Published reports say a Baskin-Robbins cup was found in Jerry Shelley's car when he was captured. Whitfield County authorities and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation say their offices have no knowledge of this investigation.
This afternoon, Chattanooga police are investigating what has turned out to be a murder. The police were the man was killed. The man who was killed worked at a motel on the North Side Inn in Dayton Boulevard. He was shot in the back of the head. This is a developing story happening. We're getting information as we go. One man who lives there said he heard gunshots about 10 o'clock last night. The rest of the details are sketchy.
Got up and looked, and I didn't see nothing. Sat back down. About 10 minutes later, I heard a second shot. It sounded like it was coming towards the front. I didn't even get up. Didn't even pay no attention. I thought somebody driving by my window back. There's a road back there. I thought somebody was driving around shooting.
No word yet on who the dead man could be. From Knoxville, an autopsy report shows that Vidar Lillylid died from 6 gunshot wounds. His wife, Delphina, was shot 8 times. Both were found on April 6th lying in a ditch outside an East Tennessee rest stop. They were clutching their children. Their daughter also died in that shooting. And 2-year-old Peter Lillylid is in rehabilitation. He survived. 6 Kentuckians are charged with their murders.
And of course, we have been talking about weather this whole afternoon, really the aftermath of the very devastating weather that struck this area, East Brainerd, about 1 month ago.
Well, we're going to go right now to get the official forecast. We can see what it is out here right now. Patrick, are you there?
Beautiful day today.
All right, well, we're waiting on Patrick to pop up there. I'll tell you what, let's do.
We'll move along. The tornado tore apart homes and shattered lives. Many families were forced to move out of homes until repairs could be made.
Well, we introduced you to a couple just a few days after that storm. And you might remember this story. News 12's Sharon Rasmussen shows us how the Rhineharts are doing now 1 month later.
It's like part of our life died, you know. That's, I guess, it. It feels like something in you has died. And I think once we can get back home, then you can kind of accept, you know, and go on.
The Rhineharts moved out of their house just days after the storm, packing up all of their belongings, leaving the broken glass and downed trees for the insurance crews.
I just was in a hurry to get everything out of here and get, you know, because I thought the sooner we got everything out, the sooner that they would get started on the house.
But 1 month after the storm, the Rhineharts' house stands empty. Glass and insulation still covering the floor. Their backyard garden destroyed.
Before the tornado, it was really nice. And I had my own private. If I wanted to go out and dig in the yard, that's what I like to do. When I came in from work, I'd go out and I was always digging or pulling weeds or doing something. And now I look out there and it just looks like it has been neglected tremendous.
When it rains, the water drips right through the roof and onto Wanda's new kitchen cabinets.
Come in here and I see this and it just tears my heart out. And so when we came by yesterday, it was just pouring water down the front of them and all over the place. And you see all this water on the floor and I think, my cabinets are destroyed. I know they are.
The Rhineharts moved into an apartment. They hope to begin rebuilding sometime next week, but that's not keeping them away from their family home.
I guess I'm thinking how hard that it is to look down here and see this. I loved everything clean and in its place. And everybody got a kick out of me because I liked white carpet and white floors and my kitchen counters and everything was white. And I look at this and I think, never in my lifetime would I ever thought that I'd ever see anything like this.
But Wanda says eventually they will recover and they'll move home.
I'm thankful, too, that we're going to finally get stuff put back together to where we can start, you know, moving back home, you know. Like the saying, you know, you can go on vacation, but there's no place like home.
Here in this town?
Now, the one thing that the Rhineharts have said to us several times, both the first time that we talked to them and when we checked with them again today, is that when they look around and see some of the damage that their neighbors have gotten, that they feel like they were very fortunate and that no matter what they went through, that they will recover from this. Now we go to Jennifer Barron and Glenn Halbrooks with another story on another family we introduced you to almost a month ago.
Very fortunate, as you mentioned, Sharon. I guess that still hasn't sunk in for so many people. With all this damage that we see behind us here, we're at the Hickory Trace Townhomes. Nobody was seriously injured and no lives were lost, and that is definitely a miracle.
It seems like the people with the best attitudes, believe it or not, are the people that went through it. Other folks will drive through and say, oh my gosh, what destruction, what must they be feeling? But the folks themselves are out there digging around, rebuilding, cleaning up. you know, they really have come through. Everyone's just come through wonderfully.
And we have not forgotten them and their courage, and they're still very courageous even 1 month after this tornado. When we come back here on our News 12 special here at 6 o'clock, we're going to show you some of the construction here at the Hickory Trace Townhomes. You can see that there is a lot of destruction here, but there is some good news, too. We'll explain why coming up.
It's time to set the record straight on resale value. In full-size pickups, there can only be one king of the hill. There is, and his name is Chevy. Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Long live the king.
The most powerful weight loss program in America is found exclusively at Form U3 weight loss centers. Form U3's powerful weight loss system begins to work immediately and allows you to eat out, eat what your friends eat, and still lose weight. And the Form U3 program costs so little, you'll wonder why you've waited so long for this.
The Form U3 Weight Loss Center nearest you in Chattanooga, call 499-TRIM. In Cleveland, call 339-TRIM.
I'm Heidi Robinson, here with my son Blake, and if you're like us, you won't want to miss the stroller parade at the Kaleidoscope Festival, May 2nd through the 4th.
Man, it's fun at the #1 music park in the nation. Oh, what a thrill to get your feel of a good time celebration. But till you come and see it, you'll never understand. The most fun in the country is Opryland. Man, it's a blast, it's cold and fast when the hangman's got you swinging. Ain't it a hoot to tap your boot when you hear America singing? You gotta come and see it to really understand. The most fun in the country is Opryland.
You'll want to take a peek at what's going on during your Dodge dealer's tent event. You'll see some pretty fascinating sights, like Dodge Intrepids with 4.9 long-term financing, or up to $1,500 cash back. You'll spy Dodge Caravans with a no-charge 4th door. And you won't want to miss a chance to see Dodge Neon with 3.9 long-term financing or $1,000 cash back. But you better hurry before the Dodge tent event pulls up stakes.
Welcome back to this special edition of News 12. I'm Jennifer Barron, along with Glenn Halbrooks, out at Hickory Trace Townhomes in East Brainerd, where the construction continues 1 month later.
That's right. They've been working virtually ever since the tornado hit, cleaning up the debris and then trying to find out if any of these places can be rebuilt or if they're all going to have to be destroyed. Where we're standing, we're in a unit that can be rebuilt and should have an occupancy of a family in about 3 months or so. Some of these units back here that you can see, it will take about a year, they're telling me. Work crews are going to have to come in and actually just take out everything there. Some of the, you're looking at some of the debris right there. Some of the units are already finished, believe it or not, just 1 month after the tornado. They finished up about 3 units just this past week. Families will be able to move in, but as I said, it may take about a year or so before other families are able to move in, and this all gets back to normal because, as I said, some of these units are just going to have to come down completely.
Mm-hmm. And Glenn, as you can see, I mean, there's no one living out here right now. None of these folks could keep residence in this area, but a lot of the folks who were hit by the storm were able to rebuild, and maybe a week or a few days after the storm hit, were able to get back in their homes. When that storm hit, we went out into East Brainerd on Igo Gap Road. It was there that I met Ed and Norma Steele. They are a deaf couple who live on Igo Gap with their daughter. I saw right after the storm the destruction that their property suffered. Then I went back today to check on their progress. I think you'll find that it is amazing the difference 1 month can make.
This is all new roof here. You recall before this roof right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it was blown off.
But the improvements on the outside of Ed and Norma Steele's home are just the beginning.
It looks a lot better in here.
Thank you. Hucko to Bill Hollander made it possible.
Bill Hollander is a contractor and a friend. He's largely responsible for quickly making the Steele's home the best-looking one on the block, from the woodwork to the windows.
We never had windows like this before. After the tornado, the type of windows we have now, you can open them. You can clean them on the outside. Have a new window there.
Looks good.
We have a new ceiling. You recall before the ceiling was gone.
And your carpet.
We have a new carpet. On the floor.
But the Steels knew their neighbors needed help too.
Bill did so much for us, so quick in the beginning. I began to see the others had a need. The roof was gone. It was raining. I told Bill to go, and help the others.
And they did. The work continues up and down Igo Gap Road. Ed Steele says he's learned a few things from the Easter weekend tornado. One, to be more aware of weather conditions, watches, and warnings. But he's also learned something about human nature.
Yeah, I think the most important thing that came out of the tornado is the spirit of love for each other.
It was a joy to meet Ed and Norma Steele. He talks about the love that he's felt from his neighbors, and he's given it right back, Glenn. He's gone out and helped, even though his home isn't finished yet, he's gone out and helped some of his neighbors. And you mentioned this earlier, and it's funny because he said, I didn't know many of my neighbors before this happened. I know more people now than I ever knew, and to him, that is one good thing that has come out of this tornado.
And naturally, I would imagine that it would make their community much closer knit than it would ever be otherwise. You know, something horrible happens, and neighbor helps neighbor, family helps another family. You just get through it together somehow. You don't know how you do it, but you just somehow do it. And then through that experience, you build the bond that will be there for the rest of these folks' lives. And we're always grateful to share the happy stories that came out of this storm.
Lots of great people. Right now, of course, when we talk about the weather, and lots of folks have been kind of skittish. We've had some rain lately. Beautiful day today, though, and we're going to check in now with Patrick Moore. Patrick?
Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. The skies have parted. Boy, it's a beautiful evening out there. Had a little patchy morning fog, but looks like our weather pattern's finally going to be settling down for the next couple of days. We'll be able to put the radar to rest, but hey, speaking of radar, we'll be talking about possibly a new radar moving into the valley. As we head to the break, though, take a look at your weather watcher facts and figures. Near 70 down here at Lafayette with Otis Port, 74 down in Pisgah, and right now, currently, looking pretty good outside, sunshine and 67.
Oh, boy. You see what happens when you take a car known for being practical and fun, and then you give it an unheard of lease price? Oh, well, maybe you can't. So let's back up a little. Thank you, thank you. Move along. Lady with the fiddle, excuse me. There, the Honda Civic DX Coupe. Lease one for $159 a month for 24 months and an $1,150 down payment. Better hurry, because it's going to win a lot of followers. Know what I mean?
Hey, Wanda, it's Nate.
With the Bus Light Upright from Airway Vacuum of Eastridge, quick cleanups are easier than ever. It's cordless, rechargeable, and only $39.95. Airway Vacuum of Eastridge carries a complete line of vacuums from Hoover, Panasonic, and Filter Queen, plus Eureka Upright starting at $59.95. Trade-ins are also welcome, and we carry bags for most all makes and models of vacuums. Airway Vacuum of Eastridge, 3709 Greenville Road, 2 doors down from Subway.
Now that Most is part of the Honor Network, you can use your card in twice as many places. Just look for green honor signs where you shop or get cash.
Have a good night.
Hey! Use your card where you see green honor signs.
The Animal Band! You can't go play with your friends outside until you clean up your room. Come on, everybody!
Hi, I'm Jim Moore with the Animal Band, and Friday, May 2nd, we're going to kick off Kaleidoscope Festival at the Tivoli Theater. We're going to have everybody up flapping their wings and doing the crocodile chop, and aliens are going to land, great music, audience participation. Don't miss it.
Don't miss the Animal Band, Friday night at 7 at the Tivoli Theater.
Well, we're back in the East Brainerd area as sunshine has finally moved back into the Tennessee Valley, and a beautiful afternoon is going to give way to a beautiful evening and early night. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Take a look at what we have as temperatures will cool off a little bit. By the time we head to 9 or 10 o'clock, we should be around 62 degrees, but mostly clear skies will continue as temperatures are finally starting to warm up. Look at some of those readings south of us as Birmingham's up to 72, 72 in Memphis. Still a little cool with a few clouds in Atlanta, 63, but all in all, we're going to see more of those warmer temperatures move up from the south over the next day or two as a taste of summertime is going to return to the Tennessee Valley. Here we go with the rest of your overnight. By midnight, around 59, and tomorrow morning, once again, we will see some of that patchy, dense fog, so if you're heading off to school or work for Wednesday morning, keep an eye on that. It could be kind of rough in a few spots with lows near 50. Overnight lows over most of the area really won't be too cool. It'll be kind of nippy, especially in the higher elevations, around 47, 48 degrees, but most of us will be right around 50 to 52 from Cleveland to Dalton on over to Fort Payne. On the radar, not much to talk about. Thank goodness we can put that radar to bed here for a day or so as the showers have moved off the Atlantic seaboard. More showers and a few thunderstorms have developed way up into the northern plains, and that's going to be the next weather system we're going to be talking about here over the next day or two. But right now our chances of rain look slim until maybe late Wednesday night and a Thursday morning. Look at that for hump day. Oh, a Chamber of Commerce day should be in store. 80 degrees. That may be the first time we'll bust 80 all spring long, but well, that's going to just be the first of many, I have a feeling, as afternoon highs down south of us could be between 80 and 82, especially down near Fort Payne. Around 75 Monteagle, 79 Cleveland, and up in Dayton near Bryan College. Should be a nice afternoon up there as well. A look at the sky flight shows basically a mostly clear day, as we had that patchy fog this morning, but now everything's starting to clear out. And as we zoom into the northwest, there you see those showers and thunderstorms from the Colorado Rockies, but they're still perhaps 1,500 miles away, so it's not going to get here anytime soon, as that high pressure is going to treat us right for tomorrow. Warmer temperatures and lots of sunshine. As we put that into motion, though, notice that low pressure system over Kansas City, Missouri will quickly zip onto the northeast, and we'll see a trailing cold front bring a few showers, maybe a quick splash and dash thunder shower, but this is going to be a quick hitter, so don't expect a whole lot of rain, and some of us may not get much at all. So just a slight chance of rain from Wednesday night to Thursday morning, and after that, another dry day or two. 79 for Friday, and look at that for Saturday for Kaleidoscope. Looks like the first half of Kaleidoscope looking good, highs near 80, but from Saturday night through Sunday, it looks pretty wet, perhaps stormy too in a few areas. Highs will drop because of the clouds, and from Monday and Tuesday, we'll try to dry things out again, but looks like we're in the springtime. Temperature-wise, as some sunshine will return for tomorrow, should be a nice day, so we'll be able to put the radar to bed, but you know what? For our next series of storms, we could have some help in the old radar department. We'll take a look at that here on News 12 right after this.
Hello, fans. This is John Ward for the Advance Auto Parts Race in the Spring Sale. And leading the pack, why, it's Sterling Marlin. Look at him go. He's racing around the everyday low prices on the largest selection anywhere.
64-ounce Turtle Wax Zip Wash, just $3.99. Avalon conventional weight motor oil, just 99 cents a quart.
Sterling, how was it out there?
You know, John, with these low prices, how can you lose?
Don't miss the Advance Auto Parts Race in the Spring Sale going on now.
Snapper, America's #1 rear-engine rider. With a legendary Snapper rear-engine rider, your lawn never had it so good. Our pivoting, articulating frame lets the deck conform to your lawn for a smooth, even cut every time. On-the-go shifting and quick response steering make tight turns and maneuvers a snap. Mulching, bagging, and dethatching are a breeze with optional accessories. Snapper rear-engine riders.
Snapper. Anything less just won't cut it.
Visit Tidmore's Lawnmower Repair, Rossville, and Dalton Diversified in Dalton.
I'm Heidi Robinson, here with my son Blake, and if you're like us, you won't want to miss the stroller parade at the Kaleidoscope Festival, May 2nd through the 4th.
Tick tock, are you ready? Ooh, here it comes, the highlight of your day. Sad, darling, real sad. What say we mix things up? Next stop, paradise. For I am soft, I am fresh, I am steamy, I cannot be denied. Someone promote this woman at once. She's a genius, I tell ya. Listen to the crystal.
Does buying a car make you feel like you're caught in the middle of a stick-up? Well, Barker Chevrolet prefers a different approach. Buying a car should be a pleasant experience, and the folks at Barker Chevrolet have one goal in mind, making sure you get the car or truck that you want at a price you can live with. Add quality Chevrolet cars and trucks to the experience, and, well, you just can't go wrong. So come see us today, Barker Chevrolet, downtown Dunlap.
Well, welcome back to News 12 special team coverage of the East Brainerd tornado 1 month later. It's beautiful out here right now, but ironically, we haven't had a tornado touchdown in the city of Chattanooga in recorded history, probably 120 years, until last month on this date, as this one did hit the city limits. So weather is changing, perhaps, and our radars could be changing here in the next few months as we head into the next generation. coming this summer. It's the main attraction, known for saving lives and giving faster warnings. No, it's not a new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's the new Tri-State Nexrad weather radar. Now, I know it may not be what you were expecting, but it will certainly be worth seeing more than once. Nexrad, which means next generation radar, gives us a more accurate and detailed look at rain and snow.
These new radars are just are light years ahead of what we've been using in the past.
Severe weather is its specialty. Tornadoes, hail, high winds, and estimated rainfall totals can be detected much easier with the Nexrad. Now, for a few years, the radar has covered much of the nation adequately, but the Tri-State has slipped through the coverage cracks as the nearest Nexrad radar is well over 100 miles away. And with the closing of the National Weather Service here in Chattanooga, we've had no local radar in over a year. That lack of radar coverage has been felt especially hard this spring. Tornado warnings were not issued before the East Brainerd and Rainsville touchdowns. Fortunately, lives were not lost, but what about next time?
This radar can certainly make a difference. I do want to emphasize that none of us and none of the radars are perfect, and we still may miss one, but it certainly raises the probabilities of being able to call severe thunderstorms and or tornado warnings much, much better.
And it should be operational before July 31st. Located in Hytop, Alabama in northern Jackson County, the radar site lies in between Chattanooga and Huntsville. That's a perfect spot for us because most of our severe weather moves in from the west or southwest. Earlier detections of severe storms should mean earlier warnings, and that's what the next generation of weather radar is all about. Speed, that's what we're talking about right now, and the time to get you the warnings and watches are going to really pick up, hopefully, and help all of us out in the next couple of months. Once again, mid to late July. So Bill and Heidi, we're anxious and we're just waiting for that date because after that, hopefully, things will get a lot quicker in the warning and watch department.
Absolutely, Patrick. Lots of folks looking forward to that.
Maybe no more tornadoes for a while.
Oh, boy, that would be awfully nice.
Right.
Now, one thing about this tornado, the people of the Tennessee Valley really came together to help out neighbors, help out even strangers, folks they didn't know.
Right in here, they jumped in there and started working the very next morning without being asked. And we're going to have something more on that in just a moment, ways that you can even help right now, right after the break.
Stay with me.
Pizza Hut employee memo number 22. Questions. Okay, a customer walks in and asks you,
what's the deal with the pizzeria stuffed crust pizza in this challenge?
And the answer is?
Well, we dare you to find a better pizza for the money.
And why are we so confident?
Specially blended sauce.
Good. Anyone else?
The not too thick, not too thin crust?
You're on a roll.
The ring of cheese baked right into the edge?
People, you're missing the key ingredient.
That's easy. It's the dough.
Yep. At $9.99 for a large one-top, folks just aren't going to find a better pizza value for the dough.
That's what I said. The dough.
Making it great again and again.
Car and truck buyers, now's the time to buy because Mountain View Ford's straight dealing on America's best sellers. Loaded Ranger XLTs now $10,995. Tough new F-150s $13,995. Tauruses for a limited time get $2,000 in rebates. 98 Windstars starting at $18,595. Get extra trade allowances. Our goal, the lowest Ford prices in the Tri-States. That's our bottom line price guarantee. Our straight dealing means your big savings.
Don't wait. See us today at Mountain View Ford.
It's a home improvement makeover.
Dobie makes a wonderful mud pack for the face.
When Brad has a brush with the barber.
What happened to you?
I got a haircut.
What, a weed whacker?
Now the new do has Tim saying don't.
Would you stop bugging me, Dad? I mean, it's my hair.
Yeah, but your hair lives in my house.
Will the cut tear Brad and Tim apart?
He looks like Pebbles Flintstone.
Fine.
Well, fine.
Fine.
No, fine.
Double fine.
Fine, 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 fine.
On the next Home Improvement.
Back-to-back Home Improvement. Tonight at 7 only on WDEF-News 12.
Tennessee's finest cheerleaders, the Chattanooga All-Stars, are looking for girls 10 to 18 who are willing to work hard. If you'd like to be part of a nationally ranked squad, call Garner's Gymnastics today.
Jonathan Panker and Linda Edwards back here live at the Samaritan Center in Ooltewah, where folks have collected a lot of supplies for the tornado victims, but they need cash. There's no money left. Cash is what they truly need, so stop on by with a check. They're open Monday through Thursday from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, or send them your money. P.O. Box 927, Ooltewah, Tennessee.
That's right. So we hope you'll come by and help support the cause. This is the Samaritan Center in Ooltewah off Exit 11. They're working in conjunction with the Samaritan Assistance Council, which was set up right after the tornado did all the damage. So once again, we hope you'll come by and help support this, because a lot of the victims are just now recognizing a lot of the things they need.
Yeah, why don't we go back now to, I believe we're going to go back to Heidi and Bill. So
yes, that's right. All right. Thank you, Jonathan and Linda. We do want to encourage folks to help those other folks if there's any way now that they still can, and get out and see what you can do. One of the things that we have heard from folks in this area is how fortunate and thankful they are that there were no lives lost.
That's the best part about this whole thing. And also the fact that volunteers got out and worked so hard. And if you still have questions about it, then there are people who do need some help, even right now. So Red Cross, Salvation Army, and of course the Samaritan Center is a good place to contact if you'd like to help.
Thank you for joining us for this special edition of News 12, and we hope you'll join us again at 11. Have a good evening.
Good night.
WDEF.
A verdict today in a case involving sexual abuse of women in the military. An Army drill sergeant is found guilty of multiple counts of rape. Terror on trial. A star government witness says Timothy McVeigh told her he was going to blow up the federal building in Oklahoma City. Standoff in West Texas. Police move in heavy metal as a lawyer representing a militant warns of another Waco. And Chrysler offers a fix to owners of up to 2 million cars with a possible accelerator problem.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm Bob Schieffer. There were major developments today in two big court cases. In the Oklahoma City bombing trial, a star witness for the prosecution testified that Timothy McVeigh told her in 1994 he was going to blow up the federal building because it was an easy target. And a military jury in Maryland has convicted an Army drill sergeant of raping female recruits, part of the sex abuse investigation at U.S. military bases worldwide. We'll have more on the Oklahoma City story in just a minute, but we're going to start tonight with a verdict in that Army court-martial, and David Martin has our report.
Looking every inch the model drill sergeant, Delmar Simpson stood straight and unflinching as the military jury found him guilty of 18 counts of rape against 6 female recruits. A stunning verdict likely to send Simpson to prison for life and certain to rock the Army.
I believe it set the standard for the rest of the trials that are coming up in the near future. It's going to definitely set the precedent for what's going to go on with the rest of them.
The jury of 5 men and 1 woman apparently decided a drill sergeant has so much power over a recruit he does not have to use physical force to commit rape.